So basically, we're traveling around Europe. We start here in Portugal to try to understand if people still care about Europe, if people feel as though Europe is something that helps them, that, I don't know, improves their lives in any way. I know you've done a very European experience. You were part of the Erasmus exchange program. Can you tell me what you've learned from that experience? How was Erasmus?
First of all, I think it was a learning process because I was born in a small town on the north of Portugal. Then I went to study to Oporto, which compared to my hometown was a big city. But I never had that multinationality experience, so I wanted to study abroad. So in 2004, I went to Tallinn in Estonia, and I found that a lot of people, a lot of that multicultural thing, and it broadens my what I thought Europe was. And because as I said, when I went to Porto studying, I stayed with all of my friends from my hometown, so it tended to be a small environment for me. So when I went to Estonia in 2004, as I said, it was the year they were going to join Europe. So I had the experience and like feeling the excitement they had about joining the Europe. So
you said sorry to cut you off because you said something very interesting. You said it broadened your horizons and your idea of what Europe was. What you discovered in Estonia that was different and that surprised you, but it also made you feel at home?
Because when Portugal joined Europe, I think we had that selfish view that okay, we are going to earn a lot with Europe. We're not giving, but they will be giving us. And so I saw a little bit of what Portugal was like 15, 20 years ago, and I was able to see that if we can mix it up, even with the East Bloc that were coming to Europe, even if we mix it up, everything, all the nationalities, all the countries, I think we can have the best of them. And that gave me the idea that we would be stronger if we were together. So, because it was totally different from Portugal. And I said, okay, I can connect here. I can be a part of this society because I was really well received. So I thought, okay, maybe if we can all connect each other, we can be stronger, bigger, stronger.
What do you think now? Because what you're saying echoes in my head with what Europe is going through right now, Brexit. Clearly, there is a disconnect between what certain countries are thinking. How does Brexit make you feel?
It makes me sad, to be honest, because I've been defending Europe like since ever, and as I said, when the rest of the countries were joining, I'm not talking about the 1950s when it was created, but when all the countries were joining, I think like the bases were similar, and then we had the East countries joining, and I think it was not that disruptive. But now, as we are facing the possible, like even like with Turkey or something joining the EU, I think that the selfish thing of the population is getting back to it. And now we are facing like a populism in Europe, and Brexit. I think it's a consequence of it.
How do you explain populism? Because what I've been hearing from people in the streets here in Lisbon, and I've heard the same message in France, is that Brussels is too far away and the political aspect of Europe just doesn't connect to people. It seems like there is a huge disconnect, a huge gap. A lot of people in Europe still feel as though Europe is a way of life. is this experience, is this multiculturalism, but it's not enough. The politics perhaps are not translating enough into their daily lives. Do you believe that Portugal benefited from joining the EU and from Europe, from European programs?
Completely. I think that when Portugal joined the EU, it was a fast track to development, because I'm not saying that we manage all the funds correctly, but I'm not getting into that. But I think it was like open book for us to read whatever you want to develop, and like because we are not on that stage of development as the other countries, so we were the poor parent by the time, and so I think it was a huge benefit for us, financially, socially, everything, to be honest.
And so why do you think there is this disconnect? Why do you think people can't feel it concretely, the help that they get from Europe? And are they really getting help still today?
I think the vision is changing a bit. Because if we're talking like 15, 20 years ago, as you said, Brussels were too far away. Because people usually, they can only connect to the local government. Yeah, I know that person. I know what he's able to do for me. And if you go on the upper level, you go to the national level, because you feel like it's closer. All the measures the government is taking, they feel it. But the European, it has so much levels. So when something is decided at the EU level, they don't feel it right away. So it's too far. They don't, as I said, they don't see it coming. Like, okay, it takes a lot of time. On the other side, the local measures are felt.
Which could explain the fact that a lot of people here don't even know that we are about to come to that European Parliament race. I would like to ask you, I think, what do you think is going to happen? We are now 2 months to European elections. We have been witnessing a rise in populism across Europe. What do you think is going to happen to Europe? Do you think that this is the end of Europe as we know it, and are we going to face difficult times ahead? What do you expect from these elections?
There will be challenging times, of course. I don't think that, for example, Brexit will ruin the European project, to be honest. It will be much more of a challenge. I think we are going to face it. We'll have the measures to solve it, to work around it. But as I said, I think we have two challenges. One is the financial, like you need to rethink the euro. The other is to face populism. And I think that Brexit is a wake-up call. And I think that and it's good to fight against populism, to be honest, because now we see that if you just like with a glimpse, you take like a decision or, okay, I will vote for Brexit, now you're paying for it. So you must think, then you decide what to do. And we can see that it is not only a European problem. We can see worldwide that there are like the right parties are having much more votes than they were having. You have the American elections. You have the election in Brazil also that are on the extreme, not on the extreme, but on the right side of politics. So I think all combined, we are now having the idea of, okay, don't go with populism. And I think Brexit, it makes me sad, but I think it's a good wake-up call. Although we're all going to pay for it, unfortunately.
Thank you very much for talking to us. It was really, really interesting to get your opinion.
My pleasure.